Tonight's game is produced by the IH Sports Network. No part of the audio or video from tonight's game may be redistributed or retransmitted without the express written consent of the IH Sports Network and Liberty Press Incorporated. The IH Sports Network's first commitment is to the student athletes of our community, their families, and their coaches. Find us online at ihsports.net.
The following is a presentation of the IH Sports Network.
Good morning and welcome to Main Street in Oneida, Tennessee for the Oneida High School's homecoming parade, which should be coming down the street here in just a few minutes. It's Kevin Akers along with Ben Garrett and our IHSN's first ever attempt to cover the Oneida High School homecoming parade, Ben.
I'm glad you said attempt because this is very much an experiment. But it's going great so far, so we have faith that it's going to go well.
We've got a few people standing around down here right now. Now the parade starts at Oneida High School, goes down. What street's that on?
It starts at Bethlehem Baptist Church.
Okay, that's right.
It goes down Chester Street and across to Lafayette, then up to Main Street. Then they'll be down Main Street to our location. We're in front of the Senior Citizen Center, and from there we'll go to 2nd Street, then down to Bank Street and back to the high school.
Now, we heard word just a few minutes ago they were already on Lafayette Street, turning on to Main Street, so they should be down through this way any minute. We've got a couple of cameras that we're going to try, so we'll have two camera angles, one stationary, and we'll be manning the other one as they come up. So we'll try to get some good zoom shots for you that you can see maybe some of the kids that you might be familiar with and their classes. My understanding is they're going to have several floats. Each class will have a float. The cheerleaders will. Some of the clubs, I think, have floats. Of course, the football team are going to have some. Tonight, of course, homecoming game. Ben, homecoming festivities there tonight. It's going to be a great event there at Oneida.
And, you know, I got up this morning and I said, Alexa, what's the temperature outside? And Alexa said it's 46 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. You could not ask for a better day for high school football. It's been hot during the early part of the season, but this is perfect, and it's going to be a perfect night tonight for homecoming. Scott High's got homecoming tonight as well, so if you're in Scott County and you like football and you're not at a game tonight, pity on you because this is a great day for football.
Yeah, now just a few days ago, you know, it was up in the 90s. I was talking to Coach Jimmy May last night, and he said, you know, the kids were actually, I think it was on Wednesday where it got so hot, we're actually kind of struggling through practice because it was so hot. And he said he's really looking forward to tonight. It's temperature at game time is going to be right around like 70 degrees. It's like you said, it's going to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I would say that by the time that sun starts to dip down tonight, 7 or 7:30, it'll get down into the 60s real quick during game time. It'll be in the 50s by the time the game is over. And that is a huge contrast from just Wednesday. It didn't get 100 degrees here, but you didn't have to go west far, just to Nashville, to find 100 degrees on Wednesday. It's just so hot for this time of year especially.
Now, the Indians tonight in their homecoming game are going to be taking on the Northview Academy Cougars. The Cougars come in with the same record that Oneida's got at 2-3, but Northview, who, if you're not familiar with them, they're a new school. They've only been actually in existence less than 10 years, but they have an outstanding facility. They are located in Kodak. So if you're ever going to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, right when you get off the interstate, you'll just go a couple of miles off the interstate and you will pass their school on the left. And it's one of those deals, if you don't know where it's at, you're probably not going to see it. It's up on a hill a little bit off to the left of the highway. That really first big intersection that you come to about a mile or so after you get off of the interstate, that's the intersection you turn at to go up to Northview Academy. They have put some points up, Ben, so far this year. Now they've played a few teams that maybe are struggling as well, but anytime you put 70 points on somebody, I don't care who you're going, because you got to remember you've got that running clock later on in the game if you're up by 35 or more, and if you can put 70 points on board, you can strike fast and quick.
70 points, and it was Union County, and Union County is struggling, but like you said, 70 points in high school football against anybody is tough to do. You very rarely see it, and that was impressive because Oneida beat Northview last year 19-0. You know, Northview struggled to even move the football. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come out tonight and move the football and see whether that 70 points was just a fluke or whether they can have a little more success against a really good Oneida defense than they did last year.
Now, as we was talking about getting back to the parade coming up, I've had the pleasure of watching the parade a couple of times. Of course, I left out a while ago one of the obvious deals. Anytime you think of parades, you think of bands and marching bands. Of course, the Oneida Pride of the Tribe marching band will be leading the way as they come through. But as far as like what you would think in the homecoming parade, you think, man, they're going to have maybe a couple little floats and stuff like that. This is really an impressive parade that is put on by Oneida High School each year for homecoming. It will actually take about 20 minutes for this thing to roll through and everything. They've got all the streets. Of course, the town of Oneida blocks the streets off. There's crowds. There's not a lot down here where we're at, but normally the spot to get at whenever you watch this thing, people like to get up around at the north end of Main Street and down through that area through there where the new First National Bank is at, and they line it streets solid up through that direction.
Our office is across from Bethlehem Baptist Church, and so for years I've watched them stage this parade there at Bethlehem, getting ready to step it off. And you're right, it is always remarkable, the turnout, the participation, I guess, that they have. Of course, the whole school takes part, and that's how it should be. But then you got some other folks in the community from outside the school that take part as well. And it's kind of the essence of a small town homecoming parade. Not a lot of towns do this anymore, and so it's pretty neat to see.
Yeah, and of course it brings out the dignitaries. If I don't know if Ben's got that pulled up or not, but you got the mayor of Oneida, Jack Lay, standing over there discussing what all's going on in the town with one of his police officers. It's got 3rd Street blocked off for us here right now. So they're discussing the logistics of doing this parade, I guess.
Yeah, not a whole lot to it. Got the street crew down at First Baptist that's got it blocked off on that end. And so, you get these side streets blocked off. It's not like the Christmas parade, which goes up Alberta Street. That's a little bit more of a headache.
Yes, that's a little bit more.
But not to say that, on a Friday especially, Main Street can be fairly busy.
All right. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised they haven't made their way here yet, Ben.
They are taking their time, stopping for autographs and
throwing out candy.
We can one thing we can go over is the homecoming candidates tonight who are going to be taking part. And I was just trying to round up the last name or two right before we got started, but I got that. And we'll start with the seniors. Brooklyn Miles and Leah Terry are going to be the senior representatives tonight. The junior representatives will be Chelsea Jeffers and Kennedy Hill. The sophomores are Jillian Cross and Kaylee Smith. And the freshmen will be Briley Duncan and Hannah Foster. So those will be the 8 girls that will be competing for the title of homecoming queen tonight at halftime of that game against Northview Academy.
Now, I know they used to let the football teams vote on who would be the homecoming queen, and then I think it ended up going to a student body vote. Sometimes they will do actual fundraisers as well. I do not know how Oneida picks their queen. Do you?
I honestly don't either. I think the tradition has become to let the student body vote on it the morning of, so that when they get done with this parade, they'll go back to school and vote for who they want to be, or maybe they did it before the parade got started. And I think as far as the fundraising side of it, what most schools have gone to, I'm not sure Oneida necessarily does it, but most schools will do a homecoming king, and so they'll let the king candidates raise money. Like I said, I'm not sure either one of our high schools do that here, but I know that's done a lot of places.
Now, Scott High as their homecoming as well tonight. Now, we were talking to Rick Keaton last night during the roundtable. Do you remember some of his discussion about the first homecoming queen for Scott High?
Who it was?
Well, how it was selected.
By the players, like you said, that back in those days, and that would have been in 1971. And the players selected it back then, which was interesting. And, yeah, you're right. He had a story, and you can go back and pull that up in our Facebook archives. But he had a story about how that came to be and how the players wound up selecting their homecoming queen that year and then the following year in 1972.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting story how all that came about and stuff. It's pretty neat.
And Oneida has been, and I don't know when homecomings started in football. Oneida football goes back to 1931, 1932, somewhere thereabouts. I don't know if way back then they crowned a homecoming queen, held homecoming. I don't know. Scott High opened in 1971, and, of course, by then homecoming was a tradition. So what I would be interested to know is who was the very first Oneida football homecoming queen.
Yeah, the first year was 1930. First season was in 1930. I want to say in the back of my mind somewhere 1956 would have been the first homecoming, but I can't swear to that.
Okay, so
That's before my time.
So do you know who the first queen was?
No, absolutely not.
I can tell you that the first homecoming queen at Scott High was Linda McGee in 1971, and that's the story that Rick was talking about, how Linda McGee became homecoming queen that year, and she is she married Billy Burge, so she's Linda Burge now. They live in Helenwood. That would have been 51 years ago.
Wow. So we're still waiting for the parade to come through. And if you're watching live, it's 9:51. We figured they'd be here about 15 till.
We did, and this is kind of one of those things that goes along with this being an experiment and doing it for the first time. Next year, we will know that we'll delay things just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They are getting close. You can hear the sirens.
Yeah, and we're swinging this thing. I don't guess we got any brakes or nothing neither, do we, Ben?
You know, Greg Bond is the man, and you know Greg is going to take care of us, and we absolutely have got breaks.
Okay.
If you want to take a break, we'll take a break.
Yeah, because I'm running out of stuff to stretch with.
Scenic Foods is about freshness, with meat cut in-store daily and special cut upon request. A deli that offers fresh meats and cheeses sliced to your choosing. A produce department offering fresh fruits and vegetables, and of course a full line of competitively priced groceries to meet your weekly shopping needs. Scenic Foods is about value and convenience. Don't have time to cook supper? Try our cheese sticks, pizza, and wings, as well as our fresh-made desserts and side dishes. Need to fill an empty pantry? We have all you need at Scenic Foods, located at 7352 Baker Highway in Huntsville.
At Big South Fork Medical Center, our dedicated team of medical professionals are available 24/7 should you or your family need high-quality care. We have an emergency room, inpatient unit, and a range of outpatient services. Big South Fork Medical Center, your local hospital where we're small enough to care, but large enough to heal. For more information on what we have to offer, you can visit our website, www.bsfmedical.com.
If you vape, you could be inhaling toxic metals into your lungs. To show how scary that is, we made Metal Monsters. With special effects that show metal particles being inhaled. And music that would have made your heart race. But nothing is as scary as the facts. Vaping can deliver toxic metals like nickel and lead into your lungs. That's metal in your lungs.
Tail slate.
The superior technology of fiber optics carries a communication signal that is more robust and reliable than older technologies. Connecting homes and businesses directly to fiber optic networks enables enormous improvements in what bandwidth devices are capable of delivering. Experience Highland Communications' world-class broadband, delivered over Highland Telephone Cooperative's fiber optic network to make your online experience extraordinary. Highland Telephone and Highland Communications. World-class connections with a local, hometown touch.
Welcome back to IHSN's coverage of the Oneida High School Homecoming Parade. We just got an update from the mayor. He said they actually started off and they went down Baxter, which I wasn't aware they was going to do that, but it makes sense because they went down Baxter so the elementary school could see the parade. And they have just now come on to Main Street up off of Lafayette. So they are probably about 3 minutes away from us, 3 to 4 minutes away. From getting here. Once again, this is Kevin Akers along with Ben Garrett, bringing you this parade for the first time here on the IHSN network. Tim gets on to me about that. I said network basically twice right then. So
Redundancy.
Yeah.
Tim just has to have something to complain about, doesn't he?
Oh, he's going to have plenty today. He was actually in Florida this week for work.
Poor guy.
And drove back up yesterday. And he called me last night at 9:30. I don't know if anybody was watching the news or anything, but there was an accident over on Interstate 40 through the gorge at the state line, and he was stuck in traffic. And last report I got, he was sitting still on the interstate from roughly about 9:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning. So he'll be whining big time today.
I last talked to him yesterday afternoon about 4 o'clock, and he had just crossed the Florida line into Georgia at that point. And I said, man, you got a long drive ahead of you. And, of course, that made it even longer when he got stuck in traffic. And I didn't know he sat in traffic at the North Carolina line to 2 o'clock last night. So about 7:45 or 8 o'clock this morning, I made sure that I texted him. So if he didn't have his phone turned off, I'm sure I will be one of the things that he complains about tonight.
Yeah, you will. But getting back to, of course, homecoming tonight, we got the homecoming queen will be crowned at halftime. Throughout the day, we didn't have this stuff, Ben, when we was in school, but today is pretty much all dedicated to homecoming activities. Of course, you got the parade this morning. They'll have a big pep rally today at the football field with all the students and the football players and stuff. Traditionally, what they'll do, one of the things they do is they have a Powder Puff Girls football tournament, which I've had the privilege to kind of sit and watch some of that a few times. They are some girls that are really good football players that play in that I've seen in the past, and it's really quite impressive to see some of them young ladies get out there. And I'm trying to think of her name. It was a few years ago. Played basketball for Oneida.
Oh, yeah, that girl.
Yeah, that girl. She goes to UT now. Boyd. Harley Boyd.
Harley, yeah.
She had an arm on her. She was an excellent quarterback out there. I think their team won easily when she was a senior. And she had an arm on her, and she was zipping them passes in, and they was catching. It was unreal to watch them play.
You know who taught her to play football?
Who?
Our grandmother, standing right back here.
Okay.
Kathy Rose.
And, yeah, we want to thank the Scott County Senior Citizens for letting us set up in their parking lot and run off of their power and stuff too, Ben.
Their power, their internet. The folks at the Senior Center are always very accommodating. By the way, if you want to help support the Senior Center, they have lunch here at this facility on Main Street every Monday and every Wednesday. They serve lunch from 11:30 until 1. It is $6 for dining in or carry out. So stop by and grab lunch one day, and you can really help support the activities that they do here at the Senior Center.
Okay, I think I see the parade on its way. It's looks like it's just turned the curve up there by the Methodist Church. So they should be here just any second.
Allison Mays had just texted me and said that they were passing Vine Street, so that would be about right.
Now, if you don't know where Vine Street is, that doesn't do you any good.
Okay, Tim.
Because I'm trying to think, where is Vine Street? Yeah, I can hear the band coming. So they're going to be here in just any second. Once again, we are set up in front of the Senior Citizens. That is at the corner of Main and 3rd. And we got a few more people coming in now. Once again, you can you're going to be able to see all the classes will have a float. Football team, of course, the band, as you can you'll be hearing them come through. They usually lead the way, if I remember correctly. And of course, the homecoming queen candidates, they'll be on a float as well. So there's quite a few floats in this parade, and as I remember, it will take about 20 minutes or so for this parade to go by. It's like any parade. They're going to be throwing candy and stuff out, so Ben, get ready. You'll have some candy to eat and just have big time.
Good. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I could use some candy. Chocolate, please.
It might melt.
Homecoming is a fun week. The kids have been dressing up. That's like kids. The students have been dressing up all week, high school, even the lower grades as well. And and my kid's been doing the same thing at Scott High School. My son has made a point of trying to be the goofiest looking guy I believe in school all week, and he has accomplished that. But no, it is. I don't remember, Kevin, when I was in school, and of course my school days were a little more recent than yours. We had dress-up days when I was in school. I don't remember participating in them.
We had like Orange and White Day and a few little things like that, but no, we didn't do that much back then. And if we had a pep rally, we would go to the gym, and that was pretty much about it. We never went to a pep rally on the football field. So it's neat. And of course, in doing that, you've got a lot of student participation. If they're doing a pep rally on the football field, you've got several students that are going to be leading that and doing all that. So it's great that all the students are participating and being a part of it. So, Ben, we finally got the parade is now here up on top of us. And they're coming around the corner right now here on Main Street, coming up on 3rd Street. And going to be led along the way by the Oneida Pride of the Tribe Marching Band. Pride last Saturday had a tremendous honor. They was one of only 10 bands across East Tennessee that were selected to march with the Pride of the Southland Marching Band at halftime over at Neyland Stadium. So congratulations to them on receiving that big honor. And they are leading the Oneida High School Homecoming Parade. We got all the homecoming candidates now cruising by, each in their own individual cars, and that's nice looking cars out here, Ben.
I never drove anything like this when I was in high school. I'll
No.
tell you that.
And
I'm not sure they do either, but for one day.
And I definitely know that if I did, my dad wouldn't let me sit on the roof like they did. There's Joe Jeffers. You have to keep an eye on him. He filled in for Clark last week and did a decent job. And there's your final homecoming candidate coming through here. And now the next float that's coming in is going to be the Oneida High School cheerleaders. And naturally, you can't have a homecoming parade without the football team. Now here's a class, senior class has their own parade, float. Get that right. There's Devlin, sloth clock Devlin Markham. He's a clock operator.
You know, Devlin Markham is one of the nicest people I know, and you guys just treat him wrong.
Well, that's why. We know he won't do nothing. Here's our junior class float. And I guess if you're a senior and a junior, you get your own float, but the sophomores and the freshmen are going to have to walk. Work your way up. Well, here's the freshman class. They did their own float instead of everybody riding on it. They've got their own float about knocking out the Cougars tonight. They got a great doing a boxing rendition. One's the Cougars and one's the Indian. That's pretty cool. And a great program that is run through the school system called Best Buddies. This is where a lot of your high school students will kind of take under their wing some of the younger kids and kind of mentor them along. This is the Best Buddies. This looks like some more of the Best Buddies here. Looks like Marlar's Auto Mart has supplied some of the transportation with that, so I want to thank them, as well as Reed's Wrecker Service. And even though it's a high school, middle school is involved here as well. And this is the Oneida Middle School cheerleaders. They got a big win last night, 30-12 over Cherokee, which is a 3A middle school.
How about the job Jason Terry has done as football coach of that middle school program? They are having a phenomenal season.
He's doing a great job. Now, their homecoming was actually last week, and their homecoming queen right here, Miss Bird, she drives by. Little Miss Junior, first of the fair. Yeah, she's cute as butt. Little Miss Scott County, fairest of the fair, Madison Douglas. And Miss Scott County Teen fairest of the fair, Katie Mae Sexton. And First of the fair from Muscat County, Kinley Duncan.
Kinley Duncan, by the way, is going to be a guest on our roundtable Monday night, 6 o'clock from El Rey. She and Claire Burris will both be on there representing Oneida High School soccer. So let's throw that out there for folks who want to tune in on Monday night.
All right, and with the Oneida Fire Rescue, that is actually going to conclude this year's edition of the Oneida Homecoming Parade. Ben?
Remember tonight, 7:30 is kickoff time. Oneida Northview Academy, Scott High, and Pigeon Forge also tonight. Both of our broadcasts will go live at 6:30 tonight on Facebook and on YouTube on the IH Sports Network YouTube channel. 6:30 tonight to tune in for. You will be handling the leading the pregame, the Baby J's Pizza pregame report at Oneida, and then Rick Keaton and his crew at Scott High. Scott High will crown their homecoming queen, I believe, before the game tonight. Oneida's festivities will be at halftime. So it should be a great night of football.
Yeah, and I've already got a chance to see Haley McDonald is actually the coordinator of the festivities at Oneida's homecoming, and I've already got to see some of the decoration. That is going to be super, super nice as they set that up to do that.
But again, if you can, don't watch us.
No.
Be there tonight because it just could not have a better day, better weather for football. Yeah. It's going to be outstanding tonight.
All righty. With that, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for joining us and for the first ever coverage of IHSN's Oneida High School Homecoming Parade from right here on Main Street in Oneida. For Ben Garrett, this is Kevin Akers. Thank you for watching and join the games tonight. It's the Highlanders and the Indians tonight. Both of them having homecoming festivities. Pre-games at 6:30, kickoff at 7:30. We'll see you there.